Now at 9, the Jasper County Juvenile Office is using new technology to keep better track of the teens in its custody.
Ian makes yet another landfall, this time in South Carolina. I'm Doug Luzader in Charleston. We'll have the latest on the storm coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. The Jasper County Juvenile Office is using new technology to help keep track of teens in the program. RFID is a radio frequency ID that teenagers wear while they're on the premises. It helps staff members keep track of the amount of time teens spend on education, meals, exercise, and other information required by the state.
This tracks all that information, and it's a lot less paperwork that we have to do because it automatically tracks it through a mobile system that basically looks like a phone that we're able to use on the floor while we travel around the detention center with the children.
Jasper County Juvenile Office is the first and only juvenile facility in Missouri to use this technology. Iola High School in Kansas is being honored for its inclusive environment. At halftime tonight at their football game, they received a banner for being chosen as a unified champion school by the Special Olympics. KOAM's Yana Hitala spoke with teacher and 2 athletes as they were decorating their homecoming float for the big game.
Iola High School has been part of Special Olympics for a while, but when the new teacher and coach Ann Bates took over, she wanted to apply for the unified sports.
This is a program offered through Special Olympics, and what it does is it partners our Special Olympics athletes with their non-disabled peers.
All 7 students in the classroom have a peer partner training with them.
When we first started, that wasn't the case. We had only a couple peers that wanted to try it out, but it's kind of grown over the years, so that's really exciting.
The athletes are also happy about having their own partners.
Basically just help each other out during all of our events and everything.
One of the peers thinks training with the students with intellectual disabilities teaches them how to be more open and think outside of a box.
Meeting new people, having fun, and seeing how it's like for other people. My mom's taught me to always treat people how you'd want to be treated.
Peer buddies really get a lot out of it too. They learn to become a little more empathetic, a little more compassionate, and that type of thing. So I think it's really a good balance of that.
Bates says social media posts of the athletes and their non-ID peers working out together has brought them attention.
All of our events and practices, and I post those onto there, so we kind of try to get the community to see kind of what we're doing and what the kids are doing. So I think that's a big reason why we did get this award, was the different things we shared on social media this last year.
In Iola, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Bates says each year she tries to implement the program a little bit more for the children to have more options, also opportunities. Well, the drone pilot industry is growing. And Carthage Tech Center students are working with Steadley Elementary in Carthage for some hands-on drone flying. With Steadley Elementary's 25th anniversary coming up, the tech students flew the drone for some aerial footage of teachers and students to send into the district. This is just one way for the students to help the community also learn at the same time.
So it takes them from beginning stages of editing and filming to, hey, I have to listen to my client to do what they want and tweak it. So it's really practical for them to see how they can use it in the future.
This class has allowed me to expand and talk to new people and make new relationships with people.
The Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International predicts that by the year 2025, at least 100,000 jobs are going to be created for drone pilots. Ian made yet another landfall in the U.S. this afternoon. This time it's taking aim at the Carolinas. Fox News correspondent Doug Luzader has more from Charleston.
Well, after devastating Florida, Ian slammed ashore again, this time in the Carolinas as a Category 1 hurricane. In Myrtle Beach, heavy rain and storm surge flooded streets as Ian moved ashore.
It's still very dangerous, and there's still winds even where there's not much water in other parts of the state. So if you don't need to go outside in the wind right now, stay inside.
Forecasters said all along that flooding was Ian's biggest threat here. By the time the storm leaves, parts of the Carolinas could have seen a powerful storm surge of up to 7 feet. National Guard troops have been on standby to assist with water rescues.
We just secured the house and, with the cars in the garages.
I came out 2 weeks ago. My flight got canceled yesterday, so having to ride out the storm.
President Biden declared an emergency for South Carolina ahead of Ian's arrival, promising the full support of the federal government.
This allows for immediate federal funding for the state to shelter people and provide other essential support. By approving it early, ahead of the storm's landfall in South Carolina.
The flash flooding from Ian could impact North Carolina and Virginia through Saturday. Residents there are bracing for high winds and power outages.
So I think people should take it seriously, have a plan in place, especially if you need electricity for medical needs.
Ian could continue soaking much of the eastern U.S. before it finally dissipates. In Charleston, South Carolina, I'm Doug Luzader, Fox News.
President Biden taking steps to help those affected by Ian. Griff Jenkins joins us from Washington, with the president is ordering federal assistance to the Palmetto State.
The president approved South Carolina's emergency declaration last night, which allows FEMA to begin coordinating disaster relief efforts. It comes as the extent of the storm's damage in Florida is starting to come into view.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. The numbers are still unclear, but we're hearing early reports of what may be substantial loss of life.
President Biden painting a bleak picture of Hurricane Ian's destruction after being briefed at FEMA's headquarters, pledging the full resources of the federal government to cover everything from debris removal to ongoing search and rescue missions. Images of the extent of the damage across southwest Florida are devastating, with entire sections of neighborhoods wiped out and millions left without power or drinking water.
You got folks that are in need, and local, federal, state, we have a responsibility to work together.
President Biden says he'll visit Florida when conditions allow, appearing annoyed at questions over his relationship with Governor DeSantis during this crisis.
It's totally irrelevant, but I'll answer it, okay? This is not about whether anything having to do with our disagreements politically.
This as the president approves an emergency declaration for South Carolina, where officials are bracing for more of Ian's wrath.
There's a lot of damage potentially to our residential areas, but we also worry about a lot of our commercial and industry areas. So this area is a mix of a lot of urban, of course, suburban. We've got a lot of commerce and industry down here. South Carolina is a very fast-growing state.
On Capitol Hill, the clock is ticking for the House to pass a government funding bill before a midnight deadline to keep the government running through mid-December so agencies like FEMA can continue to respond to this storm. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
KOM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Buford Johnson served in the U.S. Army. Native of Mound City, Kansas, Johnson was a medical corpsman and earned several awards. We are proud to thank Anson Private First Class Buford Johnson is tonight's four-state hero. Sam is next with a complete look at the forecast a bit later. Pitt State Gorillas aiming for their 7th straight win against the rival Missouri Southern Lions. Going to hear from both teams in sports.
What a beautiful way to start the weekend with bright sunny skies and light winds today. Temperatures very pleasant for this time of year. In fact, that continues tonight with down in Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can see a pretty nice evening down there, as well as across the entire four-state area. This afternoon, we made it up to 79 degrees, which was above the normals of 77 and 54. And check out the morning low. We were down to 42 chilly degrees this morning, but the records are 30 back in 1984 and 93 back in 1952. Over the last month, it has been warm. As you can see, 24 days this month above normal, only one normal day and 5 below. And last week, we set 3 records in 1 week. So it's been a hot one, not only this month, but of course all summer long. And as a result, we are in a drought situation, exceptional drought, extending from southwest Missouri through southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, surrounded by extreme drought. So needless to say, we desperately need that rainfall. Speaking of rain, we're going to go down as the 3rd driest September in Joplin history, with only 4/10 of an inch of rain so far this month. So needless to say, we need some radar. And unfortunately, on radar tonight, there is no rain anywhere to be found in our area. We have to go all the way out to the west coast before we start to see the next storm system that's organizing over the northern Rockies right now across Montana and Idaho this evening. That is going to move in our direction, but it's going to be a while before it gets here. So until then, let's enjoy the nice weather. Speaking of nice weather, this evening we're looking at temperatures in the 50s and 60s, but this afternoon we were in the low 80s out to the west and upper 70s in our area, 78 here in Joplin. Right now, though, temperatures are falling pretty rapidly because the air is so dry. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-60s across our area. Here in Joplin, we're 65. Feels like 65, dew point's 35, so we have a humidity of 33%, and the pressure is currently falling. The good thing is that we are starting to see the allergies coming down. Today it was 5.4, and tomorrow will be even better at 5.2. And if you're heading out to the lakes, they're not improving either. We're starting to see these lakes get way below normal. 1.47 at over there in Elk City. Big Hill Lake, 2 feet below normal. Down at Grand Lake, also 2 feet below normal. Beaver Lake is now sitting at 3 feet below normal. Table Rock Lake, also below normal. You kind of see the record here, around 5 feet there. And up at Stockton, almost 6 feet below normal. So those lakes desperately need the rainfall as well. Your future track for tonight looks like this. Temperatures in the 40s once again with just a few high clouds around. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, a few clouds around, but still temperatures in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. Then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see lows once again in the 40s across our area with easterly winds. And then Sunday afternoon, a repeat of tomorrow with temperatures in the lower 80s out to the west and around 80 here in Joplin, and slightly cooler for our friends off towards the east. And then as we go into Monday morning, lows a little bit warmer. We'll be right around 50 degrees across most of the area with 40s up towards the north. Your next 7 days looks like this. We're going to see 78 tomorrow, 81 on Sunday, 82 on Monday. Then we have a chance, an isolated chance of a storm on Wednesday, and another isolated chance on Friday, but cooler temperatures as well. Jordan?
All right, Sam, thanks so much as always. Coming up, what many throughout the world are calling an illegal grab.
NATO calls it the biggest escalation since the start of the war. Russia formally annexing some 15% of Ukrainian territory on Friday. I'm Trey Yingst in Kyiv. I've got the details coming up.
A new drug to treat ALS has been approved by the FDA. It's the first new drug approved to treat the fatal degenerative disease in 5 years. Also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, the new treatment called Relirio, as you see right there, promises to extend the lives of patients by several months, slowing the progression of ALS. It comes from Amylyx, a Boston area company founded by Brown University graduates. It's going to be available in the next few weeks. A new college offer by a pizza maker gives away even part-time workers a chance at a college degree for free. Papa John's Pizza has expanded its Dough and Degrees tuition benefit program to cover employees working as few as 10 hours a week and employed for only 60 days towards a free college degree. Papa John's is going to pick up costs of tuition, books, and fees even. Workers can choose their own degree focus towards associate, bachelor's, or master's degrees. $3.5 million has been invested, and 60 workers have so far earned degrees. Strong reaction pouring in from around the world after Russia's annexation of Ukrainian territory. A defiant President Biden reiterating his vow the world will never accept a Russian-occupied Ukraine. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has more from Kyiv.
Celebrations ringing out in Red Square on Friday as Russia takes a big step toward redrawing its borders. It's the largest annexation in Europe since World War II. Vladimir Putin formally signing papers making occupied parts of Ukraine Russian territory, prompting swift condemnation from around the world. In Washington, the White House announcing new sanctions aimed at stopping Russia from rearming its military, calling it the best way to ensure the Ukrainians can continue their counteroffensive.
The United States is never going to recognize this. And quite frankly, the world's not going to recognize it either. He can't seize his neighbor's territory and get away with it. It's as simple as that.
And that counteroffensive is still rolling on. Officials here shrugging off warnings about attacking what the Kremlin now calls Russian territory, and also pushing NATO to accelerate Ukraine's application, despite claims from Russia that it could mean another escalation.
De facto союзники.
We are de facto allies. We trust each other, we help each other, and we protect each other. This is what the alliance is.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon is working to accelerate delivery of the latest U.S. weapons package, worth $1.1 billion. And defense officials say they expect to announce even more military aid in the coming weeks.
We continue to evaluate what will be needed and make provisions to provide that security assistance. And so that will be ongoing.
The U.S. also proposing a resolution at the UN that would push Russia to withdraw its troops from occupied territories. In Kyiv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
So I had some tips for holiday shopping and why we're even mentioning holiday shopping right now. Used cars are becoming too expensive for a growing number of car shoppers. Rising interest rates and high prices have weighed on the demand for used cars. The nation's largest used car dealer, CarMax, reporting a 54% drop in profits in the second quarter compared to just a year ago. Dealerships are also facing parts shortages and limited inventory. Used car prices did fall slightly in August, but are still up nearly 50% compared to 3 years ago. CarMax says the average sale price for a vehicle is roughly $29,000 from June through August. Customers 65 and up are skipping out on Cracker Barrel. How could you? Those mashed potato things, they're awesome. You know, that they put in the skillet and stuff. I don't know. It's good. Company says inflation is to blame. Company says June and July were slower than usual as gas prices were elevated and lower income families reduced their summer holiday driving. Cracker Barrel says dine-in sales declined by 10% in its most recent quarter compared to pre-COVID sales. Despite seeing fewer older diners in the summer, Cracker Barrel said they gained traction with millennials and guests between the ages of 44 and 55. Hash brown casserole, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that stuff is good. All right, got to move on. Seems like the holiday shopping season starts earlier and earlier every year, right? And this year is no exception, with ongoing inflation influencing major retailers to usher in deals beginning in October. Fox News correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has the latest from consumer experts and how you can help yourself save some cash, plus what area you might not be able to find any savings no matter how much you search.
It's hard to believe the holidays are drawing near, but as larger retailers prepare to offer some early holiday deals in October to draw in customers weary of inflation, consumer experts warn just because you see a product is on sale doesn't necessarily mean it's a good deal.
To take a step back and look at the percentage of the discount compared to the list price. Is the list price a little too inflated, perhaps, and therefore the discount is not much of a discount?
A slight solution? Retail experts say you should start comparison shopping now for gifts you want to give in December, especially with some economists predicting costs could fluctuate ahead of a potential recession.
My own prediction is that in the next 12 months, we'll likely see a minor recession. That'll lead to a job loss, not just in manufacturing, but in the entire economy.
But one area where comparison shopping may not do you any good is holiday airfare.
Prices are going to keep going up. The energy crisis is still on the table. The war is still on the table. The staffing shortages that caused travel nightmares over the summer have not abated. They're still on the plate. And consumer demand for travel has not diminished at all, in spite of inflation going up.
According to data from travel company Cheap Air, costs for domestic flights currently scheduled for around Thanksgiving are roughly 25% higher than they were this time last year, with costs around Christmas and New Year's averaging about 28% more.
As soon as you find a ticket that you can afford and fits your budget, get it.
Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Up next, Walmart revealing its predictions for the most popular pet Halloween costumes this year. It's almost time for your pet to play dress up for Halloween and get in on your trickery and treats. Yes, we said pet. But just over a month before Halloween, many pet lovers are browsing for costumes for those best friends. Walmart has the Vibrant Lifeline available in store and online for your pet to join in on your door-to-door trick-or-treating. This year's top picks and costumes, as we've been seeing, are predicted to be Bumblebee, Cow, and Ladybug. Now, we were just talking, do some people actually dress up their dogs? I'll admit, I did that. My wife and I did that, but that was before kids. Once the kids came, you know, we still love our dogs, but they deserve more attention, right? 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Jasper County Jail Treatment Program sees its first graduates. We're going to learn about the program.
Florida's insurance industry was already unstable, but now Hurricane Ian could push it past the brink. I'm Jerry Willis with Fox Business. Coming up, we'll break down what property owners need to know.
Jasper County Sheriff is congratulating 3 inmate graduates from their jail treatment program. The inmates either volunteered or were referred to the program as a court sanction. While in the program, participants were held to higher standards, were models for other inmates. The 120-day treatment program consists of individual and group counseling, meditation, and life and parenting skills.
It feels really good to complete something that took me a while to get. I haven't completed anything since high school, and this is the first thing I completed since then, so it feels really great.
Anybody that was to go through it, takes it to heart, and really puts effort into it, they will come out with a lot of success, yes.
Officials say they expect many more graduates to come from the program. Pitt State is hosting Global Fest to connect all of the graduate students and students still in there on its campus. Students from 21 countries gathered to share their country's favorite dishes. The festival lets students celebrate their cultures while exploring others.
Also, we are mestizos. We are mestizos, but on this occasion, our dresses is for a typical Tarahumara custom. We are so proud also to represent this culture because it's one of the most important cultures in the whole state.
This is the first year PSU is hosting Global Days. They plan on making this an annual event. City of Parsons, Kansas today hosted a new event. They call it Fifth Friday. It's a chance, of course, to residents to come downtown, browse through vendors, get some good grub, also enjoy some live music.
We just wanted another reason to get people downtown. We wanted to get people together, give them something to do on a Friday night.
The event is called Fifth Friday because today is the fifth Friday of September. The city plans to have more Fifth Friday events anytime the calendar allows. Medical lodges in Neosho, Missouri kicked off the fall season with their Harvest Fest. Clydesdale's right there too, I thought I saw. Harvest Fest was a way to welcome in the fall with some fun and music. Folks also got the chance to ride on a wagon, here we go, with Clydesdale horses.
Well, we do it to support our community care partners like Medical Lodge. Whenever they have an event like this, it's important to come out and show support to the staff and the residents in the community. So we wanted to be, as a part of the community, we want to contribute as much as we can.
Now, the Harvest Fest ended at 6 tonight, but if you're still in the mood to celebrate the beginning of the fall season in Neosho, you're still in luck. Starting tomorrow in the Neosho Square at 10 a.m., it's going to be the Neosho Fall Festival. There's going to be a variety of vendors, local food trucks, live music, and more. Something for everyone to enjoy. Find out more. Head over to our website and search for the Neosho Fall Festival on KOAMNewsNow.com/events. Plant lovers and researchers have a lot to look forward to over at Pitt State now. Pitt State hosted an open house today for their newly renovated Sperry Herbarium. The herbarium has been on campus since 1946 and has been host to a variety of plants and bryophytes, or liverworts, hornworts, and mosses. For a while there, I thought I was talking about Harry Potter. It's open to researchers during the academic year, which is August through April.
Every specimen that gets collected is a permanent record of a plant having grown in a particular place, whether it's Kansas or Missouri or who knows, South Africa, right? But that's really how we slowly through the decades and even centuries have learned about plant life on Earth. Most of what we know comes from herbarium specimens.
The herbarium started with 100 specimens, but it's now host to more than 50,000 different specimens with 3,000 yet to be logged. That's amazing. Swedish researchers say omega-3 fatty acids can help reinforce the immune system during a severe COVID-19 infection. Supplements were administered intravenously for a study of 22 elderly patients in 2020 before any vaccines were even available. The omega-3 fatty acids appeared to trigger a healing response that reduced inflammation but don't inhibit their immune system. High heat equals high danger for people who work outdoors. Many of us already knew something about this, right? But science, we have something to measure this by. A study done at Oregon State University found a correlation between warmer weather and serious on-the-job injuries. Days with a heat index above 90 were associated with a 19 to 29% increased risk of getting hurt, possibly due to dehydration or fatigue. Hurricane Ian is going out to test an already severely challenged homeowner insurance industry in Florida. Fox Business Network's Jerry Willis has these details.
Damage claims from Hurricane Ian are expected to total $40 to $60 billion, according to industry experts. The state's insurance market is taking a blow, making recovery even more difficult for homeowners eager to start repairs.
There were a couple of issues at work here. There was excessive litigation. There were fraudulent roof schemes which were commonplace. And so you came into the hurricane season, the 2022 hurricane season. The state of Florida had a lot of issues going on having nothing to do with natural disasters.
At least 6 insurers closed this year before Ian made landfall, and another 30 are on the state's watch list due to financial instability. All this even as Florida has missed a direct hurricane hit in recent years. Damage claims from Ian will strain remaining insurers, including the state-backed operator Citizens, once insurer of last resort, but now the industry leader with 1.3 million policyholders. Already, the state has the highest insurance premiums in the country, more than double the national average, and experts are bracing for even higher premiums in the wake of Ian. But even though Citizen has deep pockets, it may not be enough to make homeowners whole. That's because the vast majority of damage left in the wake of Ian is due to flooding, and only 18.5% of homes in counties where people were told to evacuate are covered by federal flood insurance policies. Just as other major hurricanes have become political footballs, Ian may do the same. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Charlie Crist already criticizing incumbent Ron DeSantis for not fixing the ailing insurance market before Ian's landfall. Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
A bit later, some time to observe Childhood Cancer Awareness Month and see how a camp is letting kids with cancer just be kids.
What a beautiful way to start the weekend with bright sunny skies and light winds today. Temperatures very pleasant for this time of year. In fact, that continues tonight with down in Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can see a pretty nice evening down there, as well as across the entire four-state area. This afternoon, we made it up to 79 degrees, which was above the normals of 77 and 54. And check out the morning low. We were down to 42 chilly degrees this morning, but the records are 30 back in 1984 and 93 back in 1952. Over the last month, it has been warm, as you can see, 24 days this month above normal, only one normal day and 5 below. And last week, we set 3 records in 1 week. So it's been a hot one, not only this month, but of course all summer long. And as a result, we are in a drought situation, exceptional drought, extending from southwest Missouri through southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, surrounded by extreme drought. So needless to say, we desperately need that rainfall. Speaking of rain, we're going to go down as the 3rd driest September in Joplin history, with only 4/10 of an inch of rain so far this month. So needless to say, we need some radar. And unfortunately, on radar tonight, there is no rain anywhere to be found in our area. We have to go all the way out to the west coast before we start to see the next storm system that's organizing over the northern Rockies right now across Indiana, Montana and Idaho this evening. That is going to move in our direction, but it's going to be a while before it gets here. So until then, let's enjoy the nice weather. Speaking of nice weather, this evening we're looking at temperatures in the 50s and 60s, but this afternoon we were in the low 80s out to the west and upper 70s in our area, 78 here in Joplin. Right now, though, temperatures are falling pretty rapidly because the air is so dry. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-60s across our area. Here in Joplin, we're 65. Feels like 65, dew point's 35, so we have a humidity of 33%, and the pressure is currently falling. The good thing is that we are starting to see the allergies coming down. Today it was 5.4, and tomorrow will be even better at 5.2. And if you're heading out to the lakes, they're not improving either. We're starting to see these lakes get way below normal. 1.47 at over there in Elk City. Big Hill Lake, 2 feet below normal. Down at Grand Lake, also 2 feet below normal. Beaver Lake is now sitting at 3 feet below normal. Table Rock Lake, also below normal. You kind of see the record here, around 5 feet there. And up at Stockton, almost 6 feet below normal. So those lakes desperately need the rainfall as well. Your future track for tonight looks like this. Temperatures in the 40s once again, with just a few high clouds around. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, a few clouds around, but still temperatures in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. Then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see lows once again in the 40s across our area with easterly winds. And then Sunday afternoon, a repeat of tomorrow with temperatures in the lower 80s out to the west and around 80 here in Joplin, and slightly cooler for our friends off towards the east. And then as we go into Monday morning, lows a little bit warmer. We'll be right around 50 degrees across most of the area with 40s up towards the north. Your next 7 days looks like this. We're going to see 78 tomorrow, 81 on Sunday, 82 on Monday. Then we have a chance, an isolated chance of a storm on Wednesday, and another isolated chance on Friday, but cooler temperatures as well. Jordan?
Sam, thanks again. Coming up in sports, we're going to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Olthus, on this weekend's Chiefs-Buccaneers game. Plus, we're less than 24 hours away from the latest installment of the Miners Bowl rivalry game between Pitt State and Missouri Southern. We're going to hear from both teams next.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas host the Southern Lions tomorrow afternoon in the latest edition of the Miners Bowl. Now, tomorrow's meeting will be the 54th all-time meeting between the two programs. Now, it's been all Gorillas lately in the rivalry series. Pittsburgh State's actually won 7 in a row against the Lions and 26 of the last 27. This year, they've both been really good to this point. Pittsburgh State is 4-0, ranked 10th in the nation. On the other side, Southern is 3-1 and on a 3-game winning streak. I hear the two head coaches in the game on what makes the other team so good.
Number 9 does a really nice job with the football. The thing that he does is if it's not there, he'll run and he'll get his yards, he'll pick up the first down, and then he'll slide. So that you can tell they're well coached. You can tell that they can do a lot of things on offense. So again, versus Central Missouri, they were airing that thing out and there were big plays all over the place. Well, versus Emporia, they controlled the line of scrimmage, controlled the clock, and just ran the football. So they're a 4-0 MIAA team. They're going to be a tough out.
They're winning fourth quarters. You know, they're battling. They're very strong up front. They got now some veteran guys up front, both offense and defensive line, very strong there. You can tell they've recruited some big people into that program the last several years, and that's starting with them. And then they have enough perimeter people, skilled players to make a lot of plays out there as well.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 2-1 to start the season. Last week, they suffered their first loss, falling on the road to the Indianapolis Colts 20-17. And this week, the Chiefs are back in prime time, and they remain on the road, facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like we do every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
To say it's been an unusual week's an understatement. First of all, prayers to all affected by Hurricane Ian. But no matter where this game was going to be played, it's Sunday Night Football and Mahomes versus Brady again. This will be Patrick Mahomes' 67th career start, so it's kind of fun to compare Brady to Mahomes after Brady's first 66 starts. Mahomes is number 1 in NFL passing history. Yards, touchdowns, completions, passer rating, and fewest interceptions in his first 66 games. All told, Mahomes the best start in history. Brady, 9th, 7th, 8th, and 5th in those categories. And Mahomes' record after 66 games, 52 wins and 14 losses. Brady, 49 wins and 17 losses. I know, 3 Super Bowls to 1, but stay tuned on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
That Chiefs-Bucks game will kick off at 7:25 Sunday night in Tampa Bay. That's a look at sports. Be sure to join us right back here on Fox 14 at 11 o'clock for Press Box. That's a 30-minute show, all high school football. We'll have highlights and scores from all across the area, including tonight's Big 8 showdown between Lamar and McDonald County. We're back after this.
More than 10,000 children are diagnosed each year with cancer. Treatment can impact the whole family, be very isolating as well. During this Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, Naomi Ruckham shows us a camp that's giving participants and their siblings a chance to just be kids.
These campers are ready for fun. For 16 years, Sunrise Day Camp has been offering children with cancer and their siblings a safe place to enjoy sports, activities, and most of all, families just like themselves.
You get to be yourself because other kids had cancer, and you get to have a lot of fun with your friends.
10-year-old Ella Sujin and her 12-year-old brother Andrew started coming here 3 years ago while she was being treated for B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL.
When Ella got cancer, I couldn't do anything with my friends. You can make a lot of friends who know exactly what you're going through.
We always say that Sunrise is the silver lining of her diagnosis. She was able to forget that she was still on chemotherapy. It was great for him to be able to come and just be a kid.
At home, it's a world of no, and here at camp, it's a world of yes.
Sunrise now has 10 camps across the United States and Israel, serving about 2,000 children.
Children's jobs are to play, and that's how they learn confidence, they learn new skills, they learn how to make a friend.
I just made a cape today.
6-year-old superhero Alana McCormick and her 10-year-old brother Gavin have been coming for 2 years. Alana was diagnosed with B-cell ALL when she was 3.5.
It's like the best camp ever. It's the most favorite place to be here.
I wanted them to have some sense of normalcy again. It really is
an incredible opportunity to be able to come here and have our children be a part of this experience.
And run around without a care in the world, like it should be for kids. Naomi Ruckham.
Since the pandemic, Sunrise also moved to virtual camps. Children who live too far away, who just don't feel well even, can come to camp and Zoom from home or their hospital beds. Here in the 4 states, a similar sort of camp for young cancer patients and their families is called Camp Quality. You can find out more information on that at komnewsnow.com. Details about a new Planet of the Apes movie, Hollywood Nation, coming your way. A Halloween cult classic is coming back to Broadway. A rock legend announces new music and more. Fox's Ashley DeVorkin has all the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
I don't think I'm a bad person.
Chalamet takes a road trip, The Boss gets soulful, and Hocus Pocus heads to the stage in the Hollywood Nation. The Sanderson sisters plan to cast a spell on Broadway. In an interview with Broadway Podcast Network's The Art of Kindness, Hocus Pocus producer David Kirshner revealed a musical adaptation of the beloved 1993 classic is in the works. The film's highly anticipated sequel is now available on Disney+.
E Street Nation!
Bruce Springsteen delivers good news to the E Street Nation. The rock legend announced he's releasing a new album of classic soul and R&B covers. Only the Strong Survive will feature Springsteen adding his spin to songs by Diana Ross and the Supremes, Aretha Franklin, the Commodores, and more. It will be released November 11th. 20th Century Studios unveiled new details about the next Planet of the Apes film. The movie, titled Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, will be set many years after the events of 2017's War for the Planet of the Apes. The cast includes Owen Teague, Peter Macon, and Freya Allen. Production is set to begin next month, and the film arrives in theaters in 2024.
Maybe love will set you free. But the start is still the same.
And romance and horror are part of today's first looks. The trailer for Bones and All features Timothée Chalamet and Taylor Russell playing a 1980s cannibalist couple who embark on a 1,000-mile-long journey across America. It debuts in theaters November 23rd. In Hollywood, Ashley DeVorkin, Fox News.
That's a healthy relationship, huh? Yeah, that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of a sea turtle rescued from Hurricane Ian. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.